Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hello, and welcome to Friday and Friday's a Go Bag. So, I am going to put a link in the chat for everyone. And this is the presentation, a part of what I'm going to use and do. And the reason I'm giving it to you is in case the internet behaves poorly, you will be able to walk through it without me having to share it as well. Did you have a question, Roberta? Are you? Oh, no, just getting your lights on. All right. So first of all, what is Friday Go Bags? Let me get some of my stuff out of the way here. So what I decided to do was put together a presentation every Friday for the next 10 weeks that will give you a free tool that you can use when you walk away from here. You get to take it with you to help you work on something in your business. If you're a coach or you're a consultant, and we'll walk through. I'm sorry, I have to cough. I've been talking for about. Sorry about that. So what we'll do is we'll go through the presentation, and then we get done. Of course, please do ask questions. And the intent every week is to first go through, teach you the thing. After we teach you the thing and how to use it in your business and in AI, following that, we'll open it up for questions, and we will definitely leave on time because I am going to go get my daughter from school. So you can count on it, us being in time. And also, since you got the link in the chat to this, you will be able to see everything that you need to see. If you look around, you can see you can navigate here to the next one. And if you guys want, for those of you later, see this little thing here is a note that you can open up, and that will tell you what I was going to say when I was doing the presentation. So when you're doing it later, if you have time, you can do that. Oh, that was me. All right. You don't see the link? That was probably because you came in after we started. It's in again. All right. Waiting. Oh, I'm sending it to the waiting room participants. That's not going to work. Okay. Now you should be able to see it, Miss Diane. All righty. So, hi, I'm Jackie Schwabe. For those of you who don't know me, I think most of you do that are on the call. You all look familiar. But what am I doing now, or what am I doing in these calls and for everybody is I am the person who shows up after the guru leaves, right? So if you have unfinished things, unfinished projects, things you just haven't had time to do, I finish things. So I'm the finisher. My boxing gloves ready, we get it done. And one of the things that I found in lots of different programs that I've been in is they'll come in and they'll teach a thing and then I'll leave, but then I don't have the asset, or I don't have the prompt, or I don't have the thing that I needed to go and actually do it on my own. So I kind of sat there and I was engrossed in what they were doing and learning and teaching. And then I was kind of frustrated because then later I was not able to redo that thing. So hopefully that is not how you're going to experience this. So I help you guys build and deploy tools for your practice. Specifically, these are going to be the next 10 are a little bit more around the business of, right, versus the practice of. So meaning more like, how do you set up a niche? How do you set up email nurture sequences? Like that kind of stuff, not like how do you ask powerful questions? Not that that's not important. It's just not going to be what these are about. And then who am I and why should you listen to me? Well, you don't have to at all. But the things that I think make me qualified to support you guys in this way is I am an ICF, International Coach Federation, Master Certified Coach. It is the highest level of credentials that you can get through the ICF. I have 20 plus years, yes, I am that old, of software as a service and technology background, most often in regulated industries like healthcare. I've trained over 600 facilitators at Cornell. I worked with about 100 plus consultants in AI consultancy. And so I've done a lot of this. So hopefully that is helpful in terms of, am I going to give you anything that's helpful? And I hope I do. What is this at a glance is the first session. This is so you can decide if you want to come hang out with me or not. If you come, you will get it. If you register, you will also be sent the recap video and this presentation. So I know, see, Roberta's shaking her head so she gets attention. So if Roberta has to go get her kids from school next week or something like that, or she wants to go, on vacation on a Friday afternoon, as long as you register and you're on the list, you'll still get the recording. So don't panic about that. Of course, you can't ask questions or see my smiley face, but you will be able to get all the information. So these are the things we're going to cover. Next week, we'll go over 30 days of content in 30 minutes. Then we're going to do filling your calendar, to nailing the discovery call, proposals, protecting your practice. So things like NDAs and things you need to keep out of trouble with our lawyers, getting paid without chasing invoices, your signature system, and a couple more surprises. I don't know why I have them coming soon. I have them already. I built them all. They're all done. And also, this is my give back. So you will get the tool, and I will give you a tool every week. And hopefully you will actually do something with the tool. He was like, why would you do that? Because I'm not convinced most of you are going to use it anyway. Like we all get on all these calls, right? We go on these calls, we learn all these things, we download it on our computer and we don't use it. My hope is you will take it and you will make it your own and make it really work for you and what you're doing in your business or in your practice. Because that would be, this is my Jackie mini soapbox. Somebody else's program is somebody else's program. Somebody else's template is somebody else's template. So my goal is to come in and bring you a great template that you can use, but your job is to make it your template, because my customers are not going to be the same as your customers. I am not the same as John, right? John is definitely, first he's a little much taller than I am, but he also has a different set of clients than I might necessarily be reaching out for. So yes, there are frameworks that we can all use and keep up with, but there's also making it your own. So why do most of us stay broke? It's not our expertise, our pricing. It's not. It's as much as we say it. Like there's nitpicky things that we can go through, and it's like it's this offer piece, or it's this thing, or it's this thing, or it's that. It is a skill, and the skill is, I would say, there's a difference between selling and marketing, right? So if you market to everyone, everyone's confused. You can market to one person, but say yes to everyone who asks you about it. So here's a better example of that. If I market myself as, say, an executive coach, like I'm an executive coach, I work with CEOs at Fortune 500 companies over $30 million, right? The guy that sees that is going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm an executive, and that's my size company. John might see that and be like, I don't fit all of that, but I wonder if she coaches on small family businesses. He's not going to not come to me because of that marketing, right? But the SEO is not going to work if it's a big giant puking of all, I help everyone, right? Your digital marketing is not going to work if you have all of that. It doesn't know what to look for. Just like your prompts won't work. Your prompts aren't going to work if you're like, I'm a coach, and it's going to go basketball, volleyball. What kind of coach, right? How many of you done that early on? Right? I'm a coach. Oh, what kind of sports do you do? So that's why, but it doesn't mean you can't help everyone, right? I have a health coach certification, executive coach certification, life coach certification, spiritual coach certification. I got like 37 different certifications. Yeah, I know. I went certification hunting when I was unclear and unsure of myself and had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. Taking all the certifications, by the way, didn't help solve it either. It just made me more confused because they were all fun and they were all exciting. So it's niching is not supposed to be limiting. And you'll hear niches are in the riches or riches are in the niches kind of thing. But the point that I'm trying to make is just what you want to do is market to specific words. That's what we're talking about. It's niche marketing, not necessarily delivering at just the niche level stuff. I'm literally the worst person to say that if that were the case, because just in the last week, I've talked to someone that wanted to make a golfing learning management system. First of all, I don't know how to play golf, so that's fun. I talked to someone who did family-owned businesses. I talked to someone who did M&A. I talked to a metal fabricator. if I put that, or those are all my specialties out there, literally everyone would go, I don't fit one of those four things. I'm not going to do that. Right. So when we're going to go through and we're going to use this, we'll check out my notes. You are not a tomato soup to be everyone's favorite. There you go, Roberta. I like it. Sorry, I have a cough again. So what I really want to do is give you the language to tell Claude in plain language what you do so that you can actually organically rank, actually talk about things that are helpful and still go help everyone, right? If you have a health coach side business, go for it. I sell Oracle cards on the side, right? If I tell you guys all I'm doing tarot cards, that's not going to get me the next AI job. Just not. They're not even the same market, right? But if someone asks me that on the side, I'm going to say yes. All right. So with all that being said, let's do some stuff and use some tools. All right. So before we start, if you haven't already, I would offer it would be a good time to open up Claude.ai or ChatGPT or whatever your favorite LLM is, because we're going to run a couple prompts, a background, a niche, and a validation prompt. Follow along if you want. You'll still get this later. So just as a don't panic if you're not able to follow along right now and you're just here because you are. So if you go to this slide in your presentation, it's slide number 9, and you hit copy. Let me see. I'm gonna go into ChatGPT maybe. It seems to take a little less energy than my Claude Code. So I'm a coach exploring my niche. Help me find something. It knows a lot about me, so it's probably going to be mad at me for asking this question again. But now what it's going to do is start walking me through the questions to begin with. So I'm not going to walk through all of this with you because you guys can copy and paste these on your own. And because this is just some prompts and not actually the real tool I'm going to give you. So in case you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I came to this presentation for 3-word prompts. That was a waste of my time. That hopefully isn't what happens. But what's nice about this one is, right, that you are going to be asked questions so that you can add more information into it. One thing that I really like is, and I don't have it installed right now, but there's a tool called whisper.ai. There's also just using your phone and putting the microphone on. You can just talk to it and be like, if you don't really know how to say it right, you could just go, hey, I've got like 5 clients right now. One of them does this. One of them does this. I really like Buck. It's so nice to see him. He was my eCordal person, that facilitator. I worked with him. I worked with Roy. He did a whole bunch of stuff in AI, and John is an expert in AI too. And then you just talk to it and it'll go, oh, well, what do I need to know more of now that I know a little bit about their clients? So it doesn't have to be really perfect. And in fact, I would offer the thought to ask all the questions first in ChatGPT because it doesn't take tokens, and then get that information, right? Get a good summary of what you want to use. And then you can go into Claude and have Claude take another stab at it, because then you'll kind of get two viewpoints. In general, if you use those different scenarios, I would say ChatGPT has got a very wide breadth and Claude has a very deep depth. So then you can kind of use them in tandem to get the things that you want to get. So I would use ChatGPT to kind of play with maybe a section of a resume section. And then I would use Claude to tailor it real specific to that new client or that new job posting that I was looking at. A couple of things in the chat. I'm just going to check. And Windows, you can use the Windows key plus H for dictation. I did not know that because I have a Mac. Thank you for sharing. So those of you on Windows, now you know. Super awesome. All right, prompt number 2 is to take that top niche option and write a couple versions of that statement. Funny thing is, so it's going to give you this is the generals, right? It'll say, I help X do X, so blah, blah, blah. Great. We're all used to that one. Even if you're not, now you are. You just paste that in and you'll let it help you go through that. Oh, look, it reprimanded me, which is lovely. It tells me I skipped a step. I did. So it's going to say, come back and tell me a little bit more about your background. And I think that's great. So then you can kind of go back and make sure you put in the details. Other thing is, I didn't believe this when I first heard it or was first trained on it. But once you get it, even if it looks amazing on paper, say it out loud, not out loud in your head either. Like speak the words out of your mouth. Because, like, here's a really weird example, but I often struggle with the word specific. It just often comes out of my mouth in a very weird little way. If every single time I said, I help specific managers do it comes out of my face in a way that's not very confident, right? So it needs to feel good when it comes out of your mouth. It needs to be natural words that you would be saying in every scenario that you're in. So actually do physically take it out of your mouth. If you're good at this kind of stuff, I say talk to the mirror. If you're not good at this kind of stuff and you don't want to talk into the mirror, talk to your best friend or your spouse or your dog, but still like spit it out of your mouth because it's going to matter and it's going to be important. And then last but not least is test those, right? This is the test to make sure that you picked one that was good. And again, we'd copy it from here, copy, find where you are, and we'll paste it. Now, we'll probably reprimand us yet again for skipping all of the things. Yeah, it's like, I can't look at anything, Jackie. You didn't give me good data. But what we want to do is that would be if you were going to do it step by step all by yourself. We could put our background in, some evidence, etc. But what I really want you guys to do is consider using your first tool, right? The first tool in your tool bag that I'm going to give you. It's in this presentation, but I'll still click on it so you can kind of see it. It walks you through validating your niche. So you can just click this off. But if you go through each of the steps, it actually tells you like what you're doing and what's included. Talking about your business idea, your target audience, what's your price point, your problems. It gives you the homework and the research for you to walk through and do. And if you walk through each of these steps in this tool, right, you'll learn about what it is. Maybe you don't know all of these things, but when you get to this number 5, it will actually rate it for you and tell you whether or not it makes sense for you to consider it. Because even if it sounded right and you loved it and you said it out loud and you got great prompts from ChatGPT, and then you get in here and maybe it says, oh, actually, Jackie, you probably should pivot to something a little bit better. It can give you a little bit of a different viewpoint on what you're looking at. And again, this is all stuff you're putting in or research you're doing with ChatGPT and your clients, but it is a free kit and a free tool that you can walk through and learn about it, score it, do some research, and hopefully that gives you a really solid idea of where you want to focus. The other thing that I would say is kind of cool about that is, let's say you actually work with other clients. I think John might be a candidate in this area where John has a lot of other clients and maybe his client is struggling right now for whatever reason. It might be that their niche isn't a great one. And he just like, hey, why don't we just test this and run through what your current offer is and see if it matches up. And they might find, oh, wait, maybe we should pivot a little bit on that. So and you'll see something from me very, very often. I use something called D6 for my thought process, my framework. And the first thing is discovery. So in this tool, it's going to help you describe your niche. The second thing I always do is design, which is design the solution that you're looking for, then develop. Then D4 is actually dry run. So test it, go, no go, pivot. Then deploy, which is get it out into the world, test it. It's okay if it doesn't land, then try something else. About a month ago, I was throwing out the idea of a fractional chief AI operations officer. I was like, and that noodle did not stick to the wall, but the noodle that did stick to the wall is the finisher, right? So I've had a lot more responses on that particular one. So good time to pivot. My last D is D6, which is depend. And for me, that's a really important one. if you do a thing, build a thing and send it out to the world, then you own the responsibility to make sure that thing works. Right? So how can you be dependent on to do the things that you say you're going to do? Now, I do have, of course, I would say this. I took that go bag idea, like the one that we have, and I actually did map out what all of the tools would be. So if you are starting out and you're trying to figure out, do I have all the things in my business set up, starting to be to some level AI or automated or walk through, I put together my coaching AI go bag, and it actually is each of the tools. And once I make the tool my own, which I said is the important part, right? You can use the tool when you open it up, you'll do all the things, and then you can look at the operating procedure of how, and then you can actually edit it. And that's what all of the sessions are together. So if some people don't like to go at the Jackie Schwab once a week pace, you can get the whole bag with everything all at once, with all of the presentations all at once, with all the tools all at once. And that link is already in your presentation if that's some of you want to get to where you're getting faster than I'm taking you. With that being said, we got one tool down, 9 more to go. I'm going to close out the presentation, and we have about 15 minutes left for questions. So, any questions from the gallery? Hi, Wendy. Nice to see you made it. John's triple tasking, which is very John of him. Any questions, Miss? How are you doing today, Miss Wendy? Are you doing well?
Yeah. I just got returned back, and I was on the road, and I have to tell you, I'm sorry I missed the first half of this, but I see you're recording, so I'll be able to catch up. Yeah, yeah.
You will. Yep. I'll send you out the recording and all the links to all the things. So you'll be like just like you were here with us.
Yay.
And Tiffany might have slept through half of it since it's like 6 a.m. there. So I'll have to send hers too. All right. Anybody have any questions on this particular presentation in general or any other AI questions I can help with before we wrap up today? No, I did not. I kept you wide awake. Excellent, Tiffany. Excellent. I was on a call with her yesterday, Tiffany. I don't know. Our days aren't the same. She's in Australia. And it was the coolest thing because she's the early bird, or at least she was that day. And it was 5 a.m. And she had her computer up where the behind her was like a patio window. And I literally woke up with her. So it was like pitch black at the beginning of the call. And at the end of the call, it was like the sun was up. I was like, this is so cool. Look at that. So it was very nice. All right. Sounds like you guys all know all the things. So I'll send everything out to everyone, including the presentation. If you guys have questions in the meantime, let me know. Again, all the tools are free. They're free every week. So if you know other people that could benefit, please send them the registration link and let them come along. And if nothing else, I wish you guys a happy weekend, and I'll see you soon. What is behind the tool on the site, and where do I put my data in? Okay, there we go. Good questions, Roberta. So the tool on the site, the niche one that you just looked at, is actually built with 2 things. One is an HTML, it's just an HTML file. And I built it with Claude's API. So instead of just having it be a local thing that's sitting on your desktop, where if you refreshed it, all your data goes away, because it actually goes out and gets the information from the Claude API and brings it back in, then when you get to the end of that tool, you can download it. So you can also use those files, which I'll be sending to you, and tweak them, right? So it's in Claude Code or wherever you want to, and say, update this for this kind of niche, or update it for this. So you can use it both ways, both as the tool for finding your own, but you can update the tool if you want, because you'll get the source files to be able to modify it. And you just have to change your API key, which you would do because you're like, okay, I don't know what that means. I'm going to open it now. If you went into, where'd you go, Roberta? There she is. I'm going to open up my desktop. So if you were to log into, it's just your, if you use Claude, if you log into council.claude, it takes you to this page. And then if you kind of go down on the sides, you can find the API credentials. And then it will give you an API that you can use to be able to connect, right? So right here it says get API key. I'm not going to do that because you'll see my API keys in there. But then I just told Claude to use that to connect in the back end. Not all the tools are like that. Like that tool is one where you guys can use it and learn to connect and build it through an API. Some of them are literally just HTML files that connect locally on your computer, and some of them will connect to a Supabase database. And those are all things you guys will walk through. And in terms of putting your data, you type it in as you go through those 5 forms that walks you from one to each. You want to know, I don't record it because it's not stored in a database. It's right. You enter it, it goes to Claude. Claude takes it, brings you back a response. You close the website and it goes away because it's not connecting. So I don't know anything about you. Unless you want me to know, and then I can build you something special. A good question. I do have one. Which one do I? I'll tell you which. Ask the question every time you come. I have one that did store something, and it was so that I could transport to something else. But I updated all of these so that it stays in the cache memory, and so page 1 will go to page 2, 3, 4, and 5. But then when you go out of it, it's just in your local cache, so it goes away. That sounded so nerdy. I'm sorry for my nerdiness. All right. Any other questions?
This is kind of an odd question, and I haven't revisited it, but a couple of weeks ago I tried to use Claude and I could not get into it. Is there a double secret way to access Claude, or is it
Us
setting it up
Claude
the first time?
ninjas.
Yeah,
Claude ninjas and can't get in.
exactly.
It went down for like it sometimes goes like hard down.
It
So
does. Okay.
it goes hard down. I've had it happen randomly, either on my desktop app and on the website app version of it.
Hmm.
Um, so usually I just come back and try again later if it barfs. The other thing that I would recommend you consider if you're going to do a lot of building of things, I try to build things that I can use in both Claude or in ChatGPT,
Okay.
both. Because at one point Claude went down for a whole day, and I feel silly saying this, but I literally had like a panic attack because I was like, I cannot do work anymore. So then I got nervous, and I back all my stuff up to, I have a secondary drive, and I also have a code repository that's set up, and I make all of my stuff I tell Claude does it for me, or ChatGPT does it for me, but I'll say like make all of this like LLM agnostic, so that it's maybe a Python script or something. Well, you know those tech, like that kind of stuff, Wendy. That way, if Claude goes down, I can go, hey, ChatGPT, go use this Python script that I have, and it will know what to do. It will know what to do with it. So well, I use Codex, but that's the
Okay.
ChatGPT's version of Claude Code.
Okay. Didn't think about that. That's a good idea. Thank you. I didn't realize
You
that
have
Claude
Claude in the web
would
browser.
kind of disappear on us. Yeah. Yeah.
It panicked
Should
me, I will
Google.
say.
Mhm.
I really did freak out because I was like, no, what do I do? Uh, and then I recovered. All right, I'm answering Roberta's question in the chat. There it is. That's the link to go into the Claude backend, the developer backend. Yeah, it's not named the right thing. It's like totally something else, which is weird. But yeah, so I try to be agnostic being able to use them. I actually did a present. I think you'll probably get I think you're on the other one, Wendy. But I did a presentation like an hour ago on even email using the right LLM for the right type of using your email and managing your email boxes. And even in that case, um, you want to make sure like you're connecting to Google or you're connecting to Outlook. And for me, I can get to my Gmail through two different ways, not just through Claude. But yeah, I have a backup plan for everything. I trust nothing. Wait, that sounds terrible, doesn't it?
No.
I'm just really
Being
prepared.
savvy.
I'm the
It's
mom
being,
with the Kleenex in her backpack, right? Like,
yeah, risk averse, yeah.
yeah.
I missed the other
Uh,
one too. I didn't get that, so I'll have to follow up with you on that, the previous
yeah,
session.
I'll send them along. Yeah. Any other questions? Since Roberta likes to ask them in the chat, I'll wait for her. She wants to ask them along. Maybe, maybe not. No? All right. Well, hopefully you guys found this helpful. Next week, we're going to be doing some LinkedIn stuff. So that will be fun, and you'll have a tool for
Mhm.
that. And if you guys have questions, everyone should have my email. It's all over all the documents I sent you. Ask, because I'll cover stuff that you want to cover, right? If you have a specific question, we'll make sure we get those answered in our extra time as well. All right. Well, thank you all very much for coming. Off I go to get my daughter, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Jackie. Thank you.
You're welcome.